see. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about 2-cent pieces. I will try and keep it brief. Basically what it boils down to is Sam raised the question a couple meetings ago as to how you tell an 1864 small motto from a large motto. I passed out a little information sheet there. First of all, I'll give you a little background on the 2-cent piece. As you can see, they were issued in 1864 and they went all the way through 1872. It is a very doable set to complete. The key date, of course, would be the 64 small date and the 72. But again, you can buy both of those in a circulated grade for $250, $300, something like that. The rest of them are pretty common and easy to complete. So it is a nice set that you can put together. So the 1864, the small variety, you might ask why you have the two different ones. The 2-cent piece was proposed back in 1806 and 1836, but never made it through Congress. But it was approved then in, I think, 1864 by the Coinage Act of 1864. So the reason we have two different sizes there of the motto is because when they first started printing the 2-cent pieces, they used the die for their pattern model for the coin. Pattern model is basically what they use to print out samples to give to Congress and all the important people so that they can see what the coin's going to look like. And it just so happened that the first coins to come out were based upon the pattern model. The actual coin was supposed to be the large date. So how do you tell one from the other? And I'm sure Sam's paying a lot of attention here since he was the one that...
I am getting on time.
You know, every opportunity I have to get on Sam, I will. Anyway, so the biggest thing is, of course, to look at the D in God. And I have some examples up here. I have a nice small date here. I have a nice large date. And then Randy was good enough to lend us one of each that have been graded and verified. So if anybody wants to look at these, you can, either intermission or whatever. But again, the first thing you look at is the D. The D in God on the small motto is more round, where the D in the large motto is kind of oval shaped, and I'm talking about the interior of it, interior of the D. And you can see that in the handout that I gave you there. You look at the D in God and look at on the small motto, you look at it on the large motto, you can tell there's a definite difference.
Once you know it's there.
Once you know it, yeah. Now, so what happens though if the D has been worn off? It can still be identified, just like we talked a couple months back with the 1916 Standing Liberty Quarter. The probably next easiest way to identify it, and again we're talking about if the letters are worn off, is to look at the leaves just to the, as you're looking at the coin, just to the right of the banner that has "We" on it. You will notice that the small motto, those two leaves there, and again I'm referring to the picture on the left, you'll see that the leaves there have a stem. That's on the small motto. On On the large motto, there's no stems. So you could have a valuable coin there and not know it. So there's, a good way of identifying it. Let's see. Now on, if you have your letters there, the word "we" is closer together, as you can see on the small motto, rather than the large motto. And the spacing of the O and the D in God, the spacing is different. And then the other thing also is that the word "trust" is totally different. And again, I recommend that you look at these pictures, study them a little bit when you get home or at halftime here, and you can see what I'm talking about as far as the differences. Now, the photo I have there on the right, you'll see it has about 5 different spots circled. Those are other locations where you can identify one from the other. And if you look close enough, for example, starting on the left-hand side and going counterclockwise, you're going to see the end of the banner is differently shaped on the small motto than the large motto. Small motto is more of a V shape. Large motto is more of a U shape. The next one down, you're talking about the difference between seeing 2 berries versus 1 berry. Then you go down to the arrow ends. And the small motto, the arrow ends are kind of V-shaped, where with the large motto, they are straight across on each one of the arrow ends. And then coming back up to the right-hand side of the coin, you're going to see similar type thing. The end of the banner is differently shaped. In the small motto, it's going to be more of a V shape. Large motto is going to be more of a U shape. But again, it is most easily identified by the O in God. So that's what you look for first thing if you have the word God, if you can see it. And, again, that's where you go. First thing you see in 1864, you look at the D in God. The only other thing, the 2-cent piece didn't have a long life, but the biggest thing it was known for, as far as for history or whatever in numismatics, is that it was the first coin that ever bore the motto, "In God we trust." And the reason for that was, of course, we were in the middle of the Civil War, and the North was having difficulty wrapping up the war, and even at the time losing maybe too much. And so the powers that be decided that we need to put more faith in God, and that's kind of the background and the reason that they put "In God we trust" on the coin, and we have had it on all our coins since then. So, anybody have any questions or comments or anything? I will have these 4 coins over here at my table if you want to take a look and just either discuss it or just see what they should look like. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Sam. He knows everything he needs to know now about identifying 2-cent pieces.
How many years did they make it?
What's that?
How many years did they make it? Just 2 years?
For the most, as far as the 2 different varieties, yes. The small motto, again, they used inadvertently the pattern die for the pattern coin, or the die for the pattern coin. And that's how it came about, because, again, they made some minor changes for the actual circulation issue. And the die for the pattern coin was inadvertently used when they started making it. And then they switched it over as soon as they noticed that there was an issue there.
I call it.
Are you ready? Chris, you're welcome.